Guys, and welcome to this live review of Hellboy, the 2019 reboot. And I just came out of the theater, well, like 2 hours ago. I had the time to think about it, and I went on earlier hour as planned, so gladly I'm able to bring the review today and not tomorrow, because if I were to catch the latest one as it was planned, I would have like gone home in around midnight. So I'm very happy that I'm here, guys, early as possible to bring you my thoughts on Hellboy. The reviews came out like 2 days ago, because of course movie reviewers in America have this luxury of seeing the movie way earlier than everybody else, including me. And hi, a gaming. Um, okay, as always, I'm gonna check your, what you thought. Of course, please tell me what you thought of the movie. I'm gonna check, of course, that and concentrate on what you guys have to say about Hellboy. But first, to not break my line of thought, because I really want to say a lot about this movie, I'm gonna, as usual, start the review and then get back to your comments, and we can discuss the movie and how you felt about it. And of course, good evening, Ivy dear. Yes, thank you very much. I actually did. Like, spoiler alert, I had a great time. So, guys, first have to say the previous Hellboy movies were one of my most favorite movies, actually, of my childhood. I really loved them, and I just have the fuzziest memories of them, you can say. Now, I don't remember much, to this point. I remember, of course, Hellboy himself, or Perlman. I remember, that guy that was the fish guy, so to speak. He was so great. Overall, I remember the cast and what the movie was about and how they went about it as well. As a style and everything. And this here is obviously different, but okay. Sorry about my yawning. This time I started in 11:30, which is, again, it's pretty freaking late. I did plan to have like very early stream today, but I decided to go and see my grandma, and I spent the whole day with her basically. It was wonderful, and I'm always busy, busy, busy. I never can, get to see her. So I was like, okay, Gary, I have to go since I have had a day off today. So that's why there wasn't any earlier streams. But getting to the review, hi to William as well. So without before getting to your questions, again, starting at the actual review. So as I said, previous movies were pretty fun for their time. Now this is very different. It's rated R, which means that I saw the most blood and gore that I could ever possibly get enough of. I hate blood and gore. It's all depends how it's done, but here it's extremely brutal, extremely on the nose, extremely, in your face. It could be worse. I've seen a lot worse, like in Spartacus, shows like Spartacus, where one scene is like drawn out for so long that you just see guts like spilling for 5 minutes in slow motion. There's no such thing, but again, it's shown enough and clear enough for you to be like, I kind of don't, really want to see that, and yeah, that was a bit much, but they have to say that these guys, they kind of compensate for this, because everything was like going with the flow. It was like, flowing, so to speak. Yes, blood was flowing, but I mean, it was not that for that long, but for what they showed, I never seen in my life so many heads cut in a lot of different ways. Just okay, never mind. Moving on. So I really loved the movie. Actually, for me, it was super fun. I just don't get, all the reviews. They're so freaking snobby. Like, I've seen Grace Randall's review, I've seen Chris Tuckman's review, I've seen Jeremy Jones's review, I've seen pretty much everybody's reviews, and they're all like so freaking stuck up, so to speak. Because they're judging this movie like in a way that they have a Marvel movie of the highest degree in their mind. They're like comparing everything to that movie. I'm not saying that they are, but the way that they're speaking, the way that they're saying stuff, how they were made in this movie, was like, I'm, completely, like they're completely out of touch. Like they don't know what they're actually watching. I mean, this is not supposed to be as sophisticated as any Marvel or DC movie, you can say, but it's still a lot more sophisticated than, the Resident Evil movies. It's still better than, in the ways that it's done than even the Underworld movies. I mean, Underworld is a bit better done in ways than Resident Evil. It's a lot above that. So it's still, it's not as cheesy as you may think, actually. There's some really horrible things happening. Mila Jovovich is a villain. She's like so completely evil and so powerful. I mean, I expected for her to be powerful, but not to that extent. Like that kind of blew my mind what she can actually do. She's like very compared to a goddess, you can say. Hey, hi Afka. Yeah, they don't have sense of humor. You can say the reviewers. And yeah, also the humor actually was very good, was very spot on in some places. And Hellboy himself, that Hellboy makes some jokes sometimes, and he was very good. I mean, this for me is very much Hellboy. It's just great. It's an amazing performance as well. And how he looks is really modern, really great. It's very different from the comic books and the previous Hellboy, but this is a lot like what you can expect, for Hellboy to look like. It's just, I think that if there were such creature, this is like a lot closer to what I would imagine for him looking like, with the long hair, like kind of a more of a rocker type of a guy. So this really makes a lot of sense to me. He's a lot hairier than I would prefer, but he's, like a monster character, so I get it. And here you go. But guys, starting to build now like a more cohesive review, I just want to say, um, you know, overall great action scenes for what they were. CGI was hit or miss, which that is the one thing that I would agree with all of the reviews, that CGI was really like very old CGI, something that we've watched like 6 years ago maybe. You can clearly see it's a freaking CGI. It's very old-fashioned. And yeah, some characters are better than, like there's a wild pig character. You can say he's very, well done. And yeah, for the most part he looks real, and the way that he is speaking, his expressions on his face are so humanized. And considering that his face is like completely a face of a wild pig, to be so humanized was really impressive for me. How he was able to, you know, literally show what he is feeling and thinking when he's talking, and just overall moving. Yeah, I think he was done very good. Some cheetah guy, that's the only thing I'm gonna say, but you probably saw that in the trailers. That, yeah, those special effects were for the most part extremely old. And some monsters, yeah, really very bad. But the other monsters, the demons that you may have seen in the trailer, that are walking in the city and just breaking stuff, killing people, those were a lot more real, like a lot. Even the way that, you know, a monster just was so huge that when it walks, it breaks a bridge, like the London Bridge, or I'm not sure what bridge that was, but well, a bridge. So yeah, when that was shown in the trailers first time, I was like, wow, this looks very weird, very real. Sorry, and when I saw it in the movie, was of course even better. So stuff like that really well made. The other thing that was really well made was the freaking Baba Yaga, which was, I mean, she was the worst thing that I ever saw in a movie. Not that I've seen a lot of horror movies in my life, but this was like something from a true horror movie. I mean, first, if you didn't know, Baba Yaga is a creature, you can say, from our folklore, the Bulgarian folklore, and I never in my life imagined her to be, you know, in the way that she was. I mean, she was very evil. I mean, I know that she's evil, but she was the most disgusting thing I can ever imagine put on screen. Really, really, I saw, you know, The Ring, I saw Saw, I saw, you know, other horror movies. Again, not a lot, really not a lot, but never seen worse thing on the screen. I mean, worse in terms of that she's extremely hideous, extremely disgusting, extremely horrifying, extremely evil. It's just unbelievable. Just let me check something real quick. Sorry, I have to see the story of Baba Yaga right away. I'm sure it's gonna be interesting for you. Yeah, she's definitely Bulgarian, alright? So she is described as an evil old woman with magical abilities. In most cases, her name is basically translated to a witch, having the same sorry, that's very hard word in English. Um, well, qualities you can say as her cousin. Ah, they mean the cliche version of a witch with the broom and the house and chicken legs. Ha! In Italy, she has like equivalent that's named Befana. It is said that on 6th of January, Befana leaves through her chimney. What? Oh, sorry. Because I'm translating this from Bulgarian, is I can make some mistakes. So just let me read it first. So it said that Bafana um, takes some. She takes basically a few socks, and yeah, she puts them through the chimney. They're full with candies for the good kids, and some charcoals for the naughty kids. Interesting. So that has nothing to do with Baba Yaga. So it's basically the threat of the parents is that Baba Yaga will come with a big, you know, with a very, very big cloth of some sorts and just take them away. Yeah, okay, so in our mythology, she's connected with evil magic. Oh yes, here it is, here it is. The little kids are afraid of her because she eats them with in very big vats. And the grown-ups are afraid of her because she does magic spells. Wow, in the Russian mythology, so she is in a lot of mythologies, she is flying in the sky on I'm not sure what that is in English, but it says here Havan. I'm not even sure what that is in Bulgarian. Wow. Wow, that's pretty okay. That must have come from something. It can be just like, just a made up thing. It says that it just came from our unrealized fears. Okay, anyways, I'm stopping with that, but I just want to check her history real quick, but she does eat kids. And hi Omega, hi to you. So she does eat kids in the movie, and I never seen such thing. Hi Princess Tart, you. Okay, guys. So again, I'm going to read all your comments. Just to finish with my review as always, so do not break my line of thought. But again, because Baba Yaga was something that was very well known when I was growing up, so I just want to check how she was done in the movie in that regard. And yeah, she does eat freaking kids in the movie, and that's not something that a lot of movies will go. I mean, as far as this movie did, and okay, I have to, delete that image from my mind. But Mila Jovovich here, guys. She is great. I can't emphasize enough how great she is. I want to see her in more movies and more movies and more movies because she still got it. She's like so beautiful, so amazing, so everything that you can imagine. She's so freaking scary as that, evil witch. You just know that if you see her, you're probably gonna die in very painful, disgusting, gruesome way, and she doesn't care. She just does it. She just does what she does. She just has no remorse whatsoever. She doesn't think, because like in other movies, when you have the villain and they hold somebody hostage and they're like, I'm gonna kill this guy, I'm gonna do that. She just does it. She's just like, he's dead. That someone is dead. Dead, dead. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead. But I wanted to see more of her. I mean, although she was so evil and all of that, I just couldn't get enough of her destruction, so to speak, and what she can do. I just want to see more and more. So great freaking Mila Jovovich. So yeah, Hellboy great. How he's portrayed, how he's everything, just great. And okay, the story of Hellboy, because they had to represent it again and give it to us again. It was done so well that it's still very interesting, very close to the original story of the comic books. It's basically the same, just they showed it in a bit of a different way. Well, different means not, maybe not in so much detail, but they did show it in the same way that I remember reading about it, who was his mother, his father, and all of that. And the story of Hellboy himself and what it was revealed in this movie. Of course, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but it was just so clever. I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed how deep they made his roots to be, so that made him so extremely special. And yeah, just amazing. The only thing that I would say that I didn't like, there was a girl in the movie, a medium, and I'm sorry, it's midnight almost. It's like 13 minutes before midnight. So a girl, it was a medium, when she has to speak with a ghost, there was a huge, disgusting pile of shit, basically, I'm sorry for my language, coming out of her mouth, and that turned into the disgusting image of the deceased person. I mean, it was always freaking disgusting, and it didn't make any freaking sense. Any freaking sense. It's one of those things like in Ghostbusters when you see plasma, you know, disgusting goo and other disgusting things that never has, just never had anything to do with ghosts, like ever, like ever. Just make doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It just, yeah, I mean, they wasted their special effects on that, I think. So that's the only thing that I didn't like. The other thing is something that is related to Mila Jovovich's powers. I mean, her character's powers. They said that she's gonna release a plague, the plague, and all of that. And when she does return to something, I don't want to spoil it. I expected for her to not release the plague because it was like so predictable, you know. I mean, I thought that she's gonna be like a bit smarter, maybe invent something else to release, but she did release a plague. So that's maybe one thing that was kind of like, okay, that's like too freaking predictable. Although she is a mythological witch and she does thing in that way, you know. I mean, they only knew like a few things. You can imagine back then that are connected to how is their line of thought concerning, you know, how to destroy and kill people easily and efficiently. So why she would even change that, you know? It's just my thinking of it. So that is my problem. Yeah, it's not the problem of the movie. But overall, guys, this movie was freaking entertaining, like from start to finish. It was entertaining. And hi, Dark Dante. So I didn't have like one boring moment in this movie. It was amazing all the time. I mean, amazing again. Take it as a movie that is above average, not level of the Avengers. No, no. But on its own, it's like so faithful to Hellboy as a character, so faithful to his stories, so faithful to how he's supposed to be, you know, shown on screen, I think. Such a great play, you know, from that guy from Stranger Things. I know his name. I just always, you know, keep forgetting names because, again, names. Sometimes I'm just like so, you know, quick about it. This time I'm just sleepy. Yes, David Harbour. So David Harbour, just perfect. Sasha Lane was that medium. I mean, she's great and all. I just needed a bit more about her character. Not that I can't get what she was all about, but they didn't quite explain her history that well. Just a bit more would have been good. Just a bit more. Wait a sec. I don't know who freaking played Baba Yaga. I wanna know. And who else? Well, that's it, I think. Oh, sorry, guys. So, yeah. And there's actually one end credit scene as far as I saw. We only stayed for one. I think that there's just one, and it was great. I enjoyed and the end credit scene. So stay after the first colorful, you know, credits, and after that, which is like less than 5 minutes, you will totally see something very cool, I think. So yeah, guys, this has a huge potential to have a sequel, to be a whole franchise on its own. It's just so freaking lovely to see a, you know, entertaining movie that does not, you know, has any boring moment at all. That not everything needs to be that much explained to for you, you know, to connect to it, to understand it. It does not need to be so sophisticated as the Avengers or anything like that. I'm just thinking that the new movie is gonna be sophisticated, you know. So yeah, it's perfect the way it is. I didn't need any more of it. There are some scenes in the trailer that were not in the actual movie, which I could live totally without because I didn't want to see that anyways. So yeah, guys, for a Hellboy movie, I do think this is a very worthy reboot. I don't know what all the reviewers are saying. I just don't get why this movie is getting so bombed. Like it's like they expected an Oscar movie, which this is not, of course. So I don't know why they again have these huge stick up their butts. I don't know why they don't get it, don't see it for what it is. But for me, guys, this movie was great. My friend also liked it. Uh, what do you mean you missed the epic fight with the chicken legs? The chicken legs were on that house of Baba Yaga's house. um, but yeah, you liked it, and I think that the audience liked it a lot by the audience in the movie theater, by the feel that I got from them, what I've heard, so to speak. They were very entertained as well. So I just don't get what the other reviewers are saying. I think that for I don't know, for normal people that just want to have like total fun at the movies, this is exactly what you expect. This is very fun time at the movies. Popcorn and Coca-Cola fun time, and although I don't, drink Coca-Cola and popcorn almost all of the time that I'm going to the movies. That's another topic. But I mean that's exactly like that. It's exactly a very good popcorn film, and I would see it again someday probably and still have fun with it. It's a good for a second viewing as well. The only thing again, it's too much blood and gore. The R rating didn't really need to be there, but it's like it's not a big deal, and I do need a lot more than Mila Jovovich. I mean, I need Mila Jovovich in every movie. Like, give me more of freaking Mila Jovovich. Just let me see what is her next movie, and I'm gonna get to your comments finally. Okay. She's looking so good and so young. She's almost, I mean, she's basically, yeah, she's from Ukraine. Yeah, she's basically Slavic, as am I. So there's that. She's not Bulgarian exactly, but we have similar roots. Oh, of course, Monster Hunter! Oh my god, I forgot about Monster Hunter, guys. Guys, that is her next row. Monster Hunter. That's, from the games Monster Hunter. She's called Artemis there, which is amazing. That movie's gonna come out in 2020. Next year, that movie now is in post-production, which means that it's already finished filming. And yeah, she already is done on that. Oh, great. The Rockies, I have no idea what is that. Hummingbird. Carto Meltes. Not sure what is that, guys, but she has four movies coming, so I'm very excited about that. So excited about that. God, like Kate Beckinsale and Mila Jovovich all day in every single movie. I will not say no to that. I cannot get enough of them. Hi, Arthur. So guys, from the scale of 1 to 10 and compared to the other movies, I'm kind of conflicted of which I like more because, the other movies, I feel there were a lot, in a smaller scale, and I feel that this is bigger in scale, especially some scenes of it. The older movies had like a huge charm to them. This also has that, but just kind of in a different way. I felt that some of the dialogue was like too fast, but still pretty cool. It's kind of hard to say. I think that this movie is standing very well on its own as a very solid Hellboy movie, and I really like a lot of its elements more than I like the previous ones. But I have to rewatch the previous ones in order to be like fully objective about it as much as possible. But I gotta say, At least before I rewatch the old ones, this is my favorite Hellboy movie for now. So again, let's see if I can. I'm gonna rewatch the old one so I can be sure. But for me, this is freaking um, you can say 8 out of 10. It's a very, very entertaining movie. Definitely 8 out of 10. Above average. Pretty awesome fun at the movies. Pretty pleased with the money that I gave for this. I didn't feel that I gave my money away without getting anything. So yeah, lovely, and I just pray for the sequel now. I really would love to see, a sequel because it just deserves it, especially how it ended and what could possibly happen. So yeah, very, very excited, guys. So loved it. 8 out of 10, guys. Boom. That's it. And now let's see your comments, guys. Just give me a sec to scroll up. Yeah, Yavka said very well as well. You're a fan of talking pigs? Yeah, well, I do think that you will like it, definitely. Talking pig or not, definitely. Yes, very pretentious. Yeah, William, that's very good word for them. I mean, a lot of times I'm really agreeing with them, with Grace and Jeremy. I do agree with them a lot of times. I mean, lately though, sometimes I used to not agree with Grace on anything, like on anything, and then some of our opinions seems to overlap, and then again on anything. So that's pretty normal. But sometimes I do see this pattern when like there's one movie that they don't like. I mean, if Grace doesn't like a particular movie and then I see Jeremy doesn't like it, when I click on Chris Tuckman's review, he also will not like it. Then I click on like Schmoes No, and I click on like, John Campion, they also say the exact same things. And I'm like, I know that those guys are not you know, have some kind of a agreement between each other to hate the movie. I know that that's not the case, especially John Campion and Grace Randolph. They actually not sure if they even speak because they had a big of a very big feud like a few years ago on Twitter and live, I think. So it's not like they're, making some kind of a conspiracy, but sometimes it's really crazy because they do say the exact same things about the movie, sometimes in the same order even. So that's nuts. And I'm like, my thoughts when that is happening is that maybe, just maybe, they all have or develop this very pretentious and snobby way of looking at things sometimes, and it just became such a huge part of them they can't uh, get over it. They just can't. And they see movies that are not, again, sophisticated as Marvel, but they are superhero connected, as complete crap and letdowns just because they're not the same as everybody else are doing them, per se. Let's say that. So something like this is happening, I think. Otherwise, I don't see how it makes sense for this movie. As I said, um, I just hope that the box office of Hellboy is good enough so we can have a sequel. Yeah, I mean, they do have, but it's mostly Bulgarian as far as I know. Yeah, it's really insane. It really is. Bulgarian persuasion. Troy James played Baba Yaga? Who the heck is Troy James? You mean a guy played Baba Yaga? Oh, What? Ah, you're right. That was real? Well, maybe he played her movements, or fully, because he can twist himself like this. Well, maybe because of his amazing abilities to twist himself, he played Baba Yaga, but uh, maybe he didn't voice her, I don't know. That's freaking insane. I thought that was CGI, but apparently wasn't. I mean, how she moved. That just blows my mind. Oh, I'm right. I'm right, guys. So Troy James did play Baba Yaga, but only the body. I knew it. And Emma Tate actually played the voice of Baba Yaga, and probably her face as well. Yeah, so the body was done by him. Yeah, that makes more sense now. A lot more sense. Yes. Oh god. Yeah, Omega, it's very, very, very good. If you can say that a lot of split people in so many ways is good and it's realistic, then yeah. Happy Friday, Arthur. Hello to you. Yes, they did. I mean, they are making it. What do you mean Mila Jovovich is too much for me? I'm not gonna eat her. Just gonna enjoy her on screen. Yeah, that's great way to put it, Ivy. I just love how you complete what I say sometimes. Movie reviewers are akin to wine tasters. They're basically wine tasters. They're just literally like so snobby sometimes. They're just like, if a movie was a glass filled with wine, they would be like, it smells like a very interesting and very well thought of, complex and intricate creation. Come on! I mean, something like that. Oh, I don't know. So yeah, guys, that is it pretty much. I recommend it. Just as always, go and see it. Don't listen to the mainstream opinions, because a lot of times they're a bunch of crap. Yeah, I'm also a movie reviewer, but I just don't have a snobby bone in my body. So even if I become as famous, so to speak, as successful as they are, even if that's possible, I will never be like this. I promise you that. So yeah, I'm just gonna view the movie as a movie fan, as somebody that knows what, you know, a good movie feels like. Although that's very, of course, it's not super objective because everybody has their own opinions, but still, uh, a movie should never be like judged in such a pretentious way, because then it just becomes like everything in the Oscars, how the Oscars are just ignoring so many movies that are so good just because they're superhero movies or something else that they don't deem worthy, and they, only reward movies that are just too serious, which, I mean, there's so much art, so much thought put into so many other movies. Even horror movies sometimes are so freaking clever. uh Cinematography, just ideas, character interactions. There's so many things that need to have some kind of a recognition, because they're really so advanced and so far ahead, so well thought of. But they never give them any freaking recognition because they just have huge big sticks up their butts. They just cannot, think very well with them. And that should never be the case with an art form. So instead of being like, oh my god, you just have to feel it and see it with your soul, not only with your eyes, or whatever prejudice you may have, or I don't know how to say it, but just don't allow yourself to be influenced by other people. Just, if you like it, you like it. If you feel like it's a guilty pleasure, and yeah, that freaking it is, like, who cares? It's a movie, it's meant to entertain you. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Hi to Deadpool. Deadpool. That's a very interesting name there. Well, I know that you're kidding, William. I also am. So I had to comment on that. Yeah, not only the funny side of the film, but just we saw it as it was meant to be seen. So that is it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comments if you see this recorded, and you can still let me know what you think in the live chat, of course. And yeah, thank you very much for the support. I want to try and come back with a gaming stream. Don't want to promise, but I will try for tomorrow. Really, today is too late, have to go to bed, but I appreciate everything as always, guys, and I'm glad to be here with you, sharing the movie experience, so to speak. So thank you, guys, and until next time with me, Kirichi Reviews. Have a great weekend. Kisses and hugs.